Hey gaming fans, this is Woodworking Gamer bringing you more keyboard mashing video fun. Welcome back to another Valheim tips and tricks video. Today I'll be showing you how anyone can start up a new Valheim game, even a dummy like me. Whether this is your first time playing Valheim or just starting a new seed, here are a few tips and tricks that'll help you progress in the early game. Let's drop right in. He's gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing. You know that's really hard on your knees. Totally impractical. They all do it. Now that we've landed, let's get a lay of the land. Take a quick look around, see what surrounds you. And here's our friend Hugin. He's going to tell us a little bit about the Forsaken bosses, which Odin has ordered us to destroy. So we'll go over here to our first Forsaken rune, and Hugin will tell us about Eikthyr, our first prey. Now we'll use the M key to open up the map, and look, Eikthyr really close. Wow, did we luck out? Now that we know where Eikthyr is located, it's on to resources. In the start of the game, the best place to find resources is on the ground. So you want to look and pick up every stone and stick you see. As you pick up these items, you'll see what items you can now craft pop up on your screen. You can also go into the graphics setting on the game menu and turn your vegetation down to low so you'll be able to see everything on the ground. I like to leave it at medium just for a little bit of a challenge. Another resource you'll need early game is food. So you can find berries on bushes, and you can also find mushrooms on the ground. At the start of the game, you'll find some behind the monoliths, so make sure you look carefully. For in-game info, if you hit the tab key, it'll bring up your inventory and character properties. If you click on the bird, it'll bring up any active effects, the message log, and all your interactions with Hugin or any of the runes. If you click on the 3 interlocking triangles, you'll be able to see the level of the skills you've acquired throughout the game. The little orange bar at the bottom of each skill level tells you how close you are to reaching the next level for that skill. I see the hammer as an important tool, which is why I craft one as soon as possible so I can see all my building options early game. Just remember, this hammer is for building and not for fighting. If you can't find enough wood early on to craft an axe, then you have a few options. You can punch some trees and some bushes. This will level up your unarmed skill, and you'll also be able to get some wood from the trees. Just remember, any type of action such as wood cutting or mining will aggro any local mob. Now that we have some wood, let's craft an axe. And we can now use that axe to get some more wood. So let's chop down some trees. And that, my friends, is the circle of life. We'll start with this mossy log sticking out of the ground over here. It should give you about 7 wood, and it's an easy early wood gathering source. Now you can also come over to the bushes, because they only take a few hits to destroy, but they only give you a few wood. Same with the small trees. It takes 2 hits, but you still get a couple wood out of it. Now the regular trees, you have to hack away at that for a while just to get it to fall over. And then, once it falls over, you have to break it into a few pieces. Then you have to break down each one of those pieces. So in the early game, it might be easier to just hack down some of the small trees and bushes, pick up the wood that's laying around. Now you can chop down a tree and have it knock down other trees, which will speed up the wood gathering process, but that works much better after you have the second boss bonus. And as you can see, it takes a lot of hits to chop down just one tree with a starter axe. And as you can see, it takes a lot of hits to chop down just one tree with a starter axe. It may be in your best interest to wait until you have a better axe to chop down full trees. Unless that's what you like to do, then go for it. Some trees require a stronger axe. You'll have to wait to cut these down. Now an axe serves as a great tool and a weapon. However, you'll want to craft yourself a blunt weapon, such as a club, to help level your skills early on, so that way when you get into the later weapons, you'll have that skill built up. Here we're picking up flint, which only appears at the edge of meadows along the water. So make sure if you find any, you pick it all up because you'll need it to craft better weapons along the way. Along your journeys, you may come across a run-down Viking hut like this one. They're always great to explore. You can find a treasure chest, but watch out for bees' nests. These old Viking huts can be a good source of wood. So if you throw down a craft bench, you can demolish the house. And when you first place a workbench, all the items that you can now craft will pop up on screen. You can also look at them by hitting B while you have the hammer out. If you walk up to the workbench and press the E key, you'll see the little hammer icon that's flashing. That's to repair your weapons and armor as you go through the game. And this costs you nothing, so always do it. You can also upgrade weapons and armor at your workbench based on the level of the workbench. If you look in the top right corner, the workbench is a level 1 based on the 1 in the star. At the bottom of the pop-out, it'll tell you what level workbench you need to upgrade that item. We have some berries and some mushrooms in our inventory, and if you look at the bottom left, you can see our health bar and our hunger bar. With no food, we max out at 25 hit points. Eating the raspberries will give us another 10 health and 20 stamina. All you have to do is right-click the food item to eat it. As you can see, a little red raspberry has appeared next to our hunger bar, with a little bit of red bar above the hunger bar to represent the raspberry. And our health bar has gone up. Now if we right-click on the mushroom, a little mushroom appears next to our health bar. The health bar extends a little bit more for the mushroom, and the HP bar goes up as well. We can select our hammer and start working on the hut now. The different colors represent different structural integrity. The blue means it's touching the ground. The green means it's one level up. With the hammer, you can repair items, or you can also destroy items. You press the mouse wheel to deconstruct, or press the left mouse button to repair. You can also remove all the bottom walls on a building and let the building fall down by itself. This is another quick and easy way to find wood while you're out scouring the meadows. Another crucial tip early game: when you find those resources, you should probably mark them on your map. Resources in the game auto regenerate, so when your pantry is bare, you know where to look for supplies. And remember, you still have limits. You can only carry so much weight, so if you open your inventory and look at the bottom right, it tells you how much you can carry. If we examine the stack of wood, 35 wood weighs 70 units, which means each piece of wood weighs 2 units. If we examine the stack of stone, 10 stone weighs 20 units, meaning it also weighs 2 units per stone. Now the food and miscellaneous items weigh a lot less. Another tip: keep your inventory organized. That way if your food or potions are not in your hotbar, you can easily access them during a battle to save you time and maybe save your life. For me, an underutilized skill was sneak. This is important early game, even later game, because you can sneak up on enemies, and depending on the level of weapon you have, you can kill them with one hit. Now, sneak depends on a lot. It depends on your stamina, which if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see your stamina bar. As I sneak, my stamina bar slowly shrinks, but if I stop moving, I'll start to regain my stamina. In the early game, boar and deer are an important aspect. They provide food, which comes in the form of meat, and they provide hides, which provide armor, shields, and other items along the way. Occasionally, you will come across large groves of berries or large bunches of mushrooms, as opposed to the one or two you may find scattered throughout the map. In these cases, I find it beneficial to add a plus sign to the end of my marker, so that way when I see it on the map, I know that there's extra resources in that spot, and I tend to go there first. If you see your screen stutter or lag, check the top left corner for that save icon. It's probably just the game saving. Another tip, if you see your health getting low or the food flashing next to your health bar, you can eat some more food. Just right click on it real quick, you'll see it stop flashing, then you'll be ready to bring the wrath of Odin down on his enemies. If you look in the upper right hand corner, at night you can also acquire a cold penalty. The best way to combat this is to drop a campfire and sit next to it. If you sit next to it, you'll notice, again in the upper right hand corner, that you'll be resting. When you are resting, you can earn the rested buff. Now you cannot earn this if enemies are nearby or if you're moving around. You must be seated next to the campfire. Once you receive the rested buff, you'll see it appear in the upper right hand corner. During your journey, you may find runes from long forgotten travelers. This one talks about boars. Make sure you mark these runes, as they are a great place to find 1 and 2 star boars for your AFK farms later in the game. From the meadows biome, you want to start looking for the Black Forest biome. It is full of resources that will help you in your battle against the next Forsaken boss, the Elder. When you first enter the Black Forest biome, Hugin will pop up to let you know that you are wholeheartedly under-equipped and must look for better resources, weapons, and armor before you continue. In the Black Forest, you'll also find another lumber called corewood. It's great for structures, for those Viking mansions, and to help you build stronger weapons as you progress in the game. Another tip to remember as you're traversing the world, if you walk the line between 2 biomes, just remember you can aggro mobs from the other biomes, so you have to be careful of that and watch out for them as they lurk around the edges of the biomes. If you look carefully at the top of the display, you'll see a couple skeletons trying to sneak up on me. The battle mechanics in Valheim are fairly straightforward. The enemy will approach you once it's close enough, it'll swing, and then you can go in and hit it a couple times. If you stagger it, you can hit it again. If it hasn't been defeated at this point, just let it swing again, rinse and repeat. As you travel through the Black Forest, you'll come across copper deposits. They're easy to spot as they have these shiny veins on them. Now you'll want to mark these as well, so that way when you get a pickaxe, you can come and claim them. As we mentioned before, you want to be careful as you approach these old Viking huts because they can contain beehives. If you listen closely, you should be able to hear the bees buzzing. Now if you peek through this hole in the roof, you should be able to see the beehive there up against the tree. Now we're going to chop this tree down and try not to disturb the bees, but I don't think that's going to go well. If you do accidentally aggro the bees, you will get a poison effect, but it's very minor, so as long as you have some food in you, you should be good. Once we have this tree out of the way, we should be able to use our deconstruct the house tactic to remove the walls around the beehive, and it'll just fall from the sky. Just don't let the tree fall on you, because that can damage you. Now we'll drop a crafting bench. Yeah, just close enough to the house that we can tear down the walls and just start tearing down everything around the beehive. If you look close, you can see the beehive there, and then poof, beehive falls apart. Now you want to wait a second or else the bees will attack you again, but then you can go over and collect your bee and honey. Now if you look in your inventory, you have your bee, and you can build a beehive. When you build a beehive, you want to make sure it's not too close to anything, so that way the bees have room to move around, and if you click on it, it'll say the bees are happy. And you now have a beehive. In your journeys in the Black Forest, you'll also find some delves and dungeons. Make sure you're really careful when you're around these, because usually there's mobs creeping around the outside. But these are basically dungeons within the forest where you can find treasures galore. These first dungeons, you'll find the items you need to make portals, make your first kiln and furnace, so that way you can smelt ore. And you'll want to mark these on the map as well. I personally like to use this middle icon for the dungeons. I like to use the home icon for home. I like to use this bottom icon for the portals. Now, as you progress, you want to make sure you're getting the most upgraded armor or upgrading the items you have to their best possible stats. Once you progress this far in the game, it's probably time to lay down roots. So you want to pick a good spot on the map that's close to the water, so that way if you have to take a boat out, you can. You want it close to the Black Forest and close to the meadows. That way you don't have to travel as far when you're mining ore or just carrying wood, resources like that. The first thing you're going to want to do is place your workbench. This will give you a nice place to start from, and you'll know the area you have to build in. First, you're going to want to build a little enclosure for your workbench, so that way you can come to it to repair your hammer if needed. So we'll just wrap it on 3 sides, add a little half roof, and hope that works to start. We'll check it. Oh, it says station is to expose. If it says this, you want to check the wind direction, and in our case, the wind is coming from the north, so our side is partially exposed. So we'll close it up just a little bit. Check it again. If it says it's too exposed, then we'll add a little half wall on the side here. Now hopefully this clears it up. You don't have to build a full house. You just want to make it so that when you access the workbench, you can repair the tools you need. Now we'll make ourselves a hoe so we can level out the ground. Now we'll start working in a circle and just leveling the ground around our starting point. From there, we'll work our way out and make the area as large as we want it. And there we go, a nice flat area to build our house. So let's start adding on to what we have here. So we have a workbench. Now let's add a little fire so that way we can warm ourselves. It is getting a little cold out here. So we just want to build a simple little enclosure and start building our walls. We don't need a huge house to start. We just want something simple, somewhere we can lay our head, grab some food, get a little rest and regen in between our battles. Time for a little building montage. Now that we got our house built, let's go ahead and add a fire. We're going to need to cook some stuff and keep warm, so let's throw in a campfire. Now that we have our campfire, got to cook food, so let's put in some food racks. I like to put one in the middle, and just kind of find the center there. one to the right, and then one to the left, and then sneak one in between each of those. So I have 5 total, which means I can cook 10 things at a time. This way I'm cooking half a stack of food every time I go up to the racks. There we go, finally cooking some of that meat. I want to put down a bed right now, but I remember that if you leave the meat on the rack too long, it burns and turns into coal. And I don't want to lose the meat that I've already found this early in the game. So I'm just gonna look around a little bit while the meat cooks, and as soon as that's done, I'm gonna grab it off the racks. There we go. You get that little puff of smoke and it's all done. Then you can grab the meat off the rack. As you can see here, I now have cooked necktail and cooked meat, along with my raspberries and mushrooms. I'm ready for some real battles. With our basic house finished, let's place down some storage for the spoils from our conquests. 4 chests? Nah, I need 5 chests. Oh, I only have enough for 4 chests. I guess we'll stick with that for now. What do I have in my inventory? Alright, let's start stocking these chests. I think we'll put food in this first one, so we're close to the campfire when we need to cook something. That looks good. I think in the second one, we'll put some supplies. How about stuff to make armors? Yeah, that looks good. This one, what do I want to put in this one? I think we'll put, no? Let's put crafting stuff in this one. Yeah. All my crafting supplies. And here, oh wow, I have a bunch of stuff in this one. Let's clear it out. Put the stuff where it needs to go. This one will be for wood and stone. Got to keep everything organized. Now that we have our house built and storage, let's upgrade our workbench so that way we can build better armor and weapons. There we go. I think I'm going to have to put this tanning rack on the side here. I can slide it right in between the wall and the workbench. And then if I put just a little shelf up here in the corner, if you hold shift, it'll stop the piece from snapping into place. And then we can put our chopping block up here on the ledge. And now our workbench is upgraded to level 3. We can repair all our items and craft a few new things. And that wraps up this tips and tricks video. Thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, wedge them down in the comments section. If you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button to show your support. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload more videos. For more content, check out the links in the description area to see where else you can find me building. I'm Woodworking Gamer, and I wish you the best in all you do. Take care.